Greetings and welcome. How are we all feeling today? We all know how difficult it is to change a habit, a behavior, an instant gratification fix. We know how difficult it is to change the way we think, to change the way we feel, to change the way we view and perceive things. We make mistakes and we make the wrong decisions. But what we don't understand is, why do we keep repeating them? Why can't we stop the way that we are thinking? Why can't we change the way that we are feeling? Because we keep doing the same thing over and over again that just keeps feeding and reinforcing the habit or behavior that you want to change. There is a really controversial but easy way to get out of it. It is really simple, but it takes a lot of practice, and this is calling yourself out, which means if you catch yourself doing something that you know is bad for you or you know you shouldn't be doing, call yourself out loud, say, what am I doing? Just stop. And that is called a pattern interrupt, where you stop the behavior with the immediate reaction to it, and you immediately stop that behavior. Call yourself out aloud. Tell yourself no. Do the opposite of the behavior that you are currently pursuing that you want to change. Call yourself out. Make yourself know what you are doing is harmful, and interrupt that pattern of behavior and stop that pattern of behavior or that habit as well. And it's as simple as just saying to yourself, no, I'm not going to do this again. And the more you reinforce it, the more you do that, the more possible it becomes to overlap that behavior or that habit and completely change it into something that is a lot healthier, a lot better for you. For example, if you drink a lot of soda or a lot of sugary drinks, switch it for water instead. And every time you take a sip, reinforce that behavior, even if it's just with a statement saying, I know this is good for my body, I know this is nourishing my body, and then add an emotion to it and say, this makes me feel good because I know it is good for me. What we need to do, and it's very important that we interrupt the thoughts or behavior, that we stop the thoughts or behavior immediately as it surfaces. We immediately create that pattern interrupt. Even if you have to clap your hands to just immediately shock you awake and see, oh, what I'm doing is actually very bad and very harmful. Because think about it. If you are having a discussion and someone takes a book and slams it on the table, you're going to forget what you were talking about in that moment. The only thing you're going to think about is where that sound came from. And that's how you interrupt a behavior and how you stop a habit, is you interrupt it with something sudden. Even if you just react to it and you say, I'm not going to do it again. And then you don't do it. You don't say, I'm not going to do it again, and then you do it anyway, because then you're just reinforcing the behavior or the habit that you want to change. And then another important thing is to become aware of what you're doing. Don't allow habits to become too much of a subconscious process. Yes, habits are stored in the subconscious, but become consciously aware of what you're doing. Think about it. Give it a second thought before you do it. And actually make yourself awake, be aware of what you're doing. Because habits are subconscious, so we do it without even realizing. But we do it because they are self-serving and they provide instant gratification for something. And that's why you need to make yourself aware when you are carrying out that habit or that behavior. And then when you are struggling, remember you can't undo a habit or undo a behavior. Once it's learned, it's there. You have to overlap it with new information, new reinforced behaviors. And that is the only way that you can actually break a habit, is by replacing it with something healthier and something better, and then you reinforce it every single day. Because consistency breaks habits. Consistency changes behaviors. And then stop yourself from continuing the behavior. If you find yourself starting the behavior, stop yourself immediately and go do something else. Completely distract yourself from it. And this is how you remove yourself from a habit or a thought pattern. Because these are things we want to change, but we can't change them if we don't reinforce the opposite or better things. And then another thing that you have to do is admit. You need to admit to the fact that you have been doing this behavior or this engaging in this habit for so long. And you have to admit that it's a problem and that it's harmful. And then redirect, which means reframing the behavior and the habit and putting it in a different context, putting it in a different state, so that you could use the redirected behavior as a distraction or a way of overlapping the habit or the behavior with a healthy one. Remember, it's as simple as calling yourself out, saying no, and stopping the behavior and discontinuing it once it stops. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that beautiful person. Stay strong wherever you're from. You are worthy.